Hello everyone! You know keyboard, right? It turns out that keyboard has its predecessor, the typewriter. The typewriter is used as a typing paper as the place of write letter. So how did this typewriter become the forerunner of the keyboard? Let's explain now. A typewriter is a mechanical or electronic device with a series of keys. When pressed, print characters on a document. In same occupation, writers are still popular, and the functionality of typewriters has been supplied by the extension of other machines. As with its invention of the automobile, telephone, and telegram, many people contribute to the invention of the typewriter, which routinely products a successful commercial product. The invention of the typewriter began in 1714, when Henry Mill patented the construction of a machine resembling a typewriter. Added to this was the invention of carbon paper by Pellegrino Drury, one of his pioneers in typewriter components. In 1829, William Gutenberg invented a machine called the typewriter, known as the first typewriter. However, since the machine worked longer than handwriting, he couldn't find a buyer or a company to buy the patent. As a result, he cannot manufacture the machine commercially. This typewriter is called a Molex typewriter rather than keyboard typewriter because it's used circulating instead of using keys to select characters. In the mid-19th century, business communication proliferated around the world. In 1865, Rasmus Mervyn Hansen invented the Hansen writing ball, which later made him the first commercially sold typewriter in 1870. The keyboard used in typewriters are made on ceramics. These were several phases of experimentation with different character key placement in establishing keyboard standards. The first commercially successful typewriter was invented in 1867 by C. Nahum Strauss, Charles Glidden, and Samuel W. Shaw. The invention was patented and purchased by his manufacturing company, Remington and Sons. However, the machine initially had some drawbacks, such as the inability of the clerk to directly see the results of the caseworks and the difficulty in locating the case used to return the case to their original positions. The keyboard QWERTY layer was standardized and is still in use today. In 1874, Schwartz and Glyden invented the QWERTY typewriter. This layout has become the standard for English typewriters and computer keyboards. The QWERTY type has been adopted by several other countries, like Struzzi in Italy, Azerty in France, and Qwertz in Germany. This layout is considered inefficient because it slows down for typing. However, such a layout can reduce the frequency with which the type bar gets stuck and stuck off the machine. After that, many proposals for radical layouts like dvorak were put forward, but nothing replaced the QWERTY. Manual typewriters issued a standardized design in 1910. This standardization was reflected in the shape of typewriters and the arrangement of letters on the keyboard. The innovation is the invention of the shift key. This key allows to enter two different characters with one key. The shift key can capitalize symbol. Today, there are special alternatives available for processing words. People were no longer limited to using not only typewriters, but also PC, laptops, and etc. However, typewriters don't necessarily rely on humans to process words. In June 2010, a new typewriter innovation was discovered, the USB typewriter. As a word processor, this typewriter needs and creates an old-fashioned feel. The modern typewriter can be used as a keyboard connected to a computer or similarly use a USB port. This is the history of the typewriter that gave rise to keyboard. Thanks for watching this video. See you later.